Good evening, folks. We're back once again, and I've got another story or two to tell you. Last time I was living in Tampa, Florida, but there, right after graduating from the 7th grade in Tampa, Florida, the old man finally moved back to South Carolina, and I ended up living here the rest of my life. Moved back to a little town called Easley. In the town of Easley, I started the 8th grade at 14-year-old, thereabout. And it was a middle school. And in this school, I run into two people that really stand out. One was a assistant principal at that time. And he ended up being a principal later on, but at the time he was assistant principal. And the other was the phys ed teacher, which was a former middleweight or light heavyweight boxer. And the assistant principal, he was a former, I think he said linebacker, may have been for the Baltimore Colts coach. All I know he's about 250, 60 pounds. Got to be 6'2", 6'4", or something like that. He was tall, big, probably in his early or mid-30s, probably mid-30s, whatever. Both of them were really good folks, likable. All the kids loved him and treated you right. But I'd run into both of these here in different ways. The first one was the assistant principal. It's kind of funny. Now here I'm in 8th grade. I'm probably that time I probably weighed about 145 pounds, 155 maybe at the most. Cause I never really got tall. If you knew me, you know. But I'm not the shortest thing in the world, but I sure ain't the tallest either. Probably about 5'10", 5'9", 5'9" for sure now. At one time, I think I was 5'10", but age has cut me down. But I've always been very muscular for my size and abnormal strength for somebody my size. So when he would meet me, this assistant principal in school, he called me Knight. He never called me by my first name. It was always Knight. Knight this, Knight that. And he liked me. I liked him too. He was my shining example of what everybody wanted to be. Big old muscular, football player. Man, he was it. Well, anyway. He had a habit when he'd meet me coming down the hallway, and it'd be, just 1,000 kids going up down the hall. He stood out above because he was like 2 foot above everybody looked like. And he would be walking down the hall and he would spot me. And you could see him start to grin because he had a certain way of greeting me. And I mean, he's doing this every time. As we come together, whichever side I was on, he'd make sure he got over on that side. And I knew what he was going to do. When he got even with me, he would say, Knight. And when he said Knight, he would take that right hand, pow. He would hit me right in the front shoulder, right on the shoulder. And when he hit me, he had a punch. I mean, he wasn't trying to hurt me, but he was trying to pop me good. He would knock me 2-3 foot into the wall, which almost all without time. All them walls was lined with lockers. When I hit that locker, it wasn't uncommon for me to bend the locker door with the other shoulder. Bam. And if you went there today, I knew 5 or 6 different lockers have got indentions in them where I hit it with my shoulder. It didn't really hurt because, I was braced for it. I knew it was coming. And it was just I felt kind of special because the man picked me out to honor me with being his friend. And it's just a way of greeting me. Hello. And I can remember one time when I bounced off the locker, I really made a ditch in it that time. He looked at that locker and looked at me and looked at that locker and he said, Knight, they don't make them lockers like they used to, do they? And he turned, he'd go on down the hall and I go my way. So now that was all the interaction I ever had with the assistant principal. Because I try to stay clean, don't get in trouble. But he come back several years later and he saved my little butt. Now I'll tell you about that because he remembered me and just so happened he was around when I needed him. But at this time, we're going to move on to the boxer. Now he was a phys ed teacher. He was good too. He was fair with all the kids. He really wanted to work with you to make you a better person, health-wise, and whatever he could do for you. But he had one thing he didn't put up with. If he told you to cut that out, don't do something wrong, or let's say you were mean enough to get in a fight with somebody, you picking on somebody. He didn't put up with it. He'd go over there and he'd put that hand on you. He wasn't tall, but he was really muscular. And he had a tick in his eye that clicked. His eye constantly click, click, click. He couldn't stop it. And I may have got it fighting. I don't know. Nobody ever asked him, but he had it. And he would grab you, hold of you, and he'd tell you, I told you not to do that. That's 3. Give me 3. Right now, if it was time. If not time, the next day, when class started. And when I say give me 3, what he meant was, he'd go back to the office, and he'd get his paddle out. He'd come out there in a gym where everybody could see it. Everybody stops, line up. Everybody line up. He said, now, I told this boy not to do this, and he went ahead and done it anyway. Or this boy was fighting, I told him not to do this. Or there's 2 or 3 fellas. I seen him give him 3 of them at one time. 3 different people. They was misbehaving. I told them not to do this. This is what happens when you do this. You don't misbehave. 3 each. So everybody bend over. They bend over, put their hands on their knees. And he'd come behind you. He had a paddle. And this paddle was unique. It was like 3 inches wide, up and down. And the part that he hit you with was probably about 14 inches long, 15 inches long. And then he had about a 9-inch handle. A handle made for 2 hands. Now from the handle forward, it had alternating holes drilled in it. And then the handle itself, he could put both hands around. And he'd walk down that line, and he'd come from under, and he'd swing, pow. When he hit you, you would bounce up and forward, 1.5 feet, 2 foot. And then come back down, put your hands on your knees, pow, hit you again. 3 licks. Well, I never saw anyone ever take 3 licks from him. The tears went running down their face. Some of the kids would flat out and started crying. They all would holler, you know. But the tears, you couldn't stop the tears. It hurt. I mean, you could tell it hurt. Well, he did this. And then he'd tell you, now don't never do that again. And he put his paddle up, and he didn't go around looking for excuses, but when he had one, he put a stop to it. So, very seldom do you ever give the same boy a lick that year, because I think they remembered it. If he's going to misbehave, it'd be somewhere else. It wasn't going to be in his class. So, I'm sure it's not legal now, but it worked back then. Well, one day, out of the clear blue, one of the most kind, gentle children you've ever laid eyes on done something stupid. That was me. I hollered out at the boy and used a 4-letter word he should have never used because he'd done something. I forget what it was. But when I did it, I felt that hand come down on my shoulder. And he said, Knight, I can't believe you said that in my class. And Knight couldn't believe he had either, because it sure wasn't meant to happen. So he said, Knight, we ain't got time today. It's time to end of the class. He said, tomorrow morning when you come to my class, which is about 11 o'clock, he said, going to give me 3. Well, that meant everybody's going to be lined up watching me get 3. And I'm thinking, and you got all night to think about this. You won't do it again, I'm sure. So I go home, and I'm thinking, oh, Lord, he's going to hit me. He's going to hit me hard. Now, I'm used to taking beatings, but nobody's going to take a beating if you don't have to. And I'm thinking, I really don't want that. I don't want to be crying in front of everybody else. So, you know, I never was the most beautiful kid in the world, and I never have been the smartest child in the world. But I ain't the stupidest either. And I'm thinking, you know what? There's got to be something I can do to ease up on this here beating I'm going to get, these three big licks. So my little brain started thinking, and I was coming up with ideas, and they all were shot down. It wasn't working. It just wasn't going to happen. I'm going to suffer. Oh, no, that ain't going to work. Oh, no, that ain't going to work either. And then it dawned on me, the old man, now, like I told you, he was a carpet layer. And I've helped him, lay carpet in some days when he needed help. I'd go help him for the day, and it it was a learning experience. It was a career that I never got into, but I guess I could have branched into it when I grew up if I'd wanted to. But anyway, I knew how to lay carpet. And laying carpet, if you ever lay carpet, one of the first things you do to make it right, you got to put padding under the carpet, or I don't care how pretty it looks, it just don't feel right. Well, I'm sure they're still doing today. There's all kinds of padding they use. High dollar, cheap padding, medium price padding, all different kinds of patterns. At that time, the old man probably had 50 different types of padding he used. I go out there in the back of the house where he'd thrown a bunch of scrap away, and I'm looking at all this stuff. And I think, well, if I take some of that padding, put it on in my pants, well, it wouldn't hurt yours much. But then I thought, well, you know, that ain't gonna work. Cause he's gonna see it, feel it, you know, and it ain't gonna work. And I kept looking, and I finally found one. And it was green, but it was a thin pad, real thin. And I said, that's still got to be better than that paddle coming up against your skin and busting the flesh, and you end up with whelps on your butt where you hit you with that paddle. You know, you can see everywhere there was little holes in that paddle. So we go take showers at our recess and everything. Some of them boys get busted. Boy, their butts they were in bad shape. So that's what my butt's gonna look like tomorrow, I guess. But anyway, I got that pad and I cut it out where it would just fit down in my pants and stay in there. It actually fit in my underwear, but it would slide down in my underwear. It wouldn't come out. And if you felt back there, you really couldn't feel it. It wasn't thick, but I said, it's got to be pretty good. I could take a lick. I just didn't want to be crying. You know, that's my own personal thing. I didn't want to do it if I could help it. So the next day back to school, come time, I'm sitting there, that padding in there. And I'm thinking, Lord, if he finds that in my pants, he'll kill me. You know, I said, you know, nobody else had ever had that smart or that stupid to try this. So I go out, it goes out to recess, you know, and we come in there, and when I get in there, everybody's already took seats up on the bleachers up there, and they're all standing around waiting for me to walk in. Because this is Donnie Knight. Donnie Knight, I'm kind of a loner, and I ain't big, but I am strong. And they don't know, I don't never mess with anybody, but they don't mess with me. Even 2 or 3 of them think twice about jumping on me, because I'm just ain't going down if I can help it. But I got to take this. This ain't what I want to do. It's what I'm going to have to do. So I walk in there, and the coach is standing there, and he'd already got the paddle out. He just had her, just kind of tapping it, you know. He said, come on over here, Knight. Come on over here. And I'm, God dang it, walk over there, and he said, and you know, this is because of what you did. I shake my head, yeah. He said, you know, I really don't want to give this to you. And I'm thinking, I ain't sure about that, Coach. But I didn't tell him that. He said, all right, enough talking about it. Turn around, put your hands on your knees. I turn around. And he does the same thing every time. He reaches back there to his pants. He feels for a wallet or a comb, because he don't want that in your pocket. And he feels back there. And I do have a little wallet. He reaches up there, he pulls the wallet out, lays it over on the counter. He said, okay, now, 3 licks. He takes that thing here, and he comes back. He hits me, and he does. He picks me up, and he moves me 2 foot. But I'm still bent over, and when I come down, my hands just come right back down my knee, and I'm just still squat over. He kind of walks forward enough to where he can get position again, and he looks around there at me. And he said, you didn't say anything, Knight. I didn't say anything. He looked at me and said, okay. He hit me again. Same thing. Knocked me forward. Come down, hand down. And I'm just standing there. He walks forward. He looks down at me. He said, raise your head up, boy. I raised my head up, looked at him. He said, you ain't got no tears in your eyes either. I just didn't say anything. Dropped my head back down. He said, okay, silent sight. He walked back there. He said, you think you can take that? So take this. And he hit me, and I bet I did go 2.5 foot forward. Come down. And this time when I come down, I stood up because I was through 3 licks. That was the rule. He walked around there and looked at me, and he looked at me, and he didn't say anything. He just kept looking at me. He finally reached up and got me by the shoulder, turned me around, faced the rest of them boys in there. They was all up on the dang little bleachers. He said, now, boys, this boy right here, you don't want to mess with him. Said he's a man, and the boys, I hate boys, frame or something. I forget what it was, but he's a man that's a boy. Somehow, no, he said it. He said, he just took 3 licks from me, and y'all know, y'all have never seen nobody take one that didn't at least have tears in the eyes. He said, Knight, don't ever do anything again here again, because I don't want to have to give you another one. He said, because I don't like seeing somebody take it that way. You're supposed to be feeling better now somehow or another. So he didn't went on back, you know, and from then on, he was my friend. He liked me because I took it. He didn't know what I'd done. When I got in there in the gym, when there wasn't nobody in there, I pulled that buffing out, pad down, pulled it out, rolled it up right quick, throwed it in I had a little bitty bag there, I kept my tools and stuff in, and my underwear, my socks, my shoes, everything we work out in the gym. I put that in there right quick. I didn't want him to find out that I had that. He never found it out. Never did. Now, if he's alive, Coach, you know now. But if he's alive, he would have to be about 105, 110. So, Coach, if you're alive now, sorry. Anyway, I got away with it. One of the few times that one of my ideas actually worked out. And the boys at school, as a matter of fact, I'm sure a bunch of them are still alive. Y'all never knew this. You remember that? That's how I got by with it. And one of the few people, I guess I'm probably the only one that done that, but it worked. So, 8th grade, 2 things stood out. Linebacker and a boxer. And both of them were good folks. It's just, but weird how things happen. So the next time I come around, we'll talk about some of the things that really took place that started changing my life. Like I said, grandmother giving me a .22 rifle for Christmas. And I had my dog, when I moved up there, I had a Chinese child. Remember me telling you about that earlier. He died on the way up. A heat stroke killed him. And I didn't have a dog. But a dog was coming into my life that was going to be a partner, a friend, and just like part of the family for many, many years that going to happen that summer. And so I'll tell you about that in the next story. All right, that's it for the night.